Matrix was a false reality that appears real, but you have to be unplugged from it to actually see the truth. What's going on in the city of New York and around our country and around the world requires a certain level of discernment, understanding history, and understanding the capability of man. One such item in particular is the situation concerning our mayor, Eric Adams. Eric wasn't receiving any challenges or trouble until he took a stance against immigration in New York City. As you know, New York City is a sanctuary city. And as a sanctuary city, we welcome all immigrants. As the Statue of Liberty says, give us your tired, so on and so forth. But because the immigration situation got out of control and the federal government was not uh, supporting through funding Eric Adams became uh, a detractor of the Biden administration, the Biden Harris administration immigration policy. And that's when all hell broke loose. I'm going to share something with you, hopefully, that will also help you see the light and exit the matrix.
Help and to ask for a change of designation. And that's when everything kind of went upside down when his treasurer's home was raided and he turned right back around.
The 57-page indictment, I'm not sure if you had a chance to read some of it or all of it. It is pretty damning. And in the indictment, they lay out a really strong case of quid pro quo. Do you think he can effectively lead in light of these charges?
I think he has every intention to continue to lead, but what I do see is the people who help him lead, like his commissioners, like his special advisors, like his deputy mayors, are all being subpoenaed or their electronics are being seized. So what's happening is the government is kind of taking the oxygen out of the administration, which would at some point cause the mayor to not be able to effectively do his job.
Do you think he should resign? There have been calls from both Republican and Democratic members of city council for him to resign. There have been calls also from Republican and Democrats in Congress for him to resign. Do you think he should step down?
Any one of us can call for him to resign or not. Really, it lies in the hands of Kathy Hochul, and it lies in the hands of different mechanisms, whether it's the mayor resigning on his own, Kathy Hochul recalling him, or a panel that's led by the city council speaker, which would cause him to be removed. But I don't think anyone has a real appetite for that because he has a large base of supporters that Kathy Hochul is not looking to disenfranchise. So we have to just wait and see how this plays out. And quite frankly, in my opinion, if Scott Stringer, Lander, or Jumaane Williams wants to be the mayor, they should do it the old-fashioned way and run for it in a general election.
What do you think of his replacement? Because as you noted, you mentioned the New York City public advocate, Jumaane Williams. That would be his interim replacement if he stepped down. What do you make of him?
I think that everyone is very fearful of that happening because Jumaane has not been silent on his displeasure with the NYPD. He's not been silent about his far left agenda. And this is not something that the majority of New Yorkers are for. In fact, many who were maybe not as conservative before have become much more conservative because they've seen crime rise. They've seen, thefts rise. They've seen sexual assaults rise. They've seen crime rise within 75 percentiles, and they just don't want to see any more of that. So what they need now is a steady hand who can keep this city safe. And I don't believe that Jumaane Williams he may change what he's going to say now that he wants the job, but that has not been how he has been acting all the way through, especially pushing legislation like the All Stops bill in the city council for it to pass.
And as I said before, they're bringing up charges against Mayor Adams for accepting campaign contributions from a foreign government, Turkey. Uh, do you know how many elected officials accept political donations from APAC? APAC is the American Israeli Political Action Committee. And uh, this country, for all intents and purposes, is controlled allegedly by Israel. I mean, how else can you explain the U.S. Congress uh, embracing an alleged war criminal, Netanyahu? Well, he's been uh, deemed a war criminal by the International Court, which they don't want to recognize for some strange reason all of a sudden. So keep this in mind as they begin to point the finger at Eric Adams, and what they're attempting to do is, of course, punish him for his stance on the immigration issue. Please check out the next video.